Imagine you're running a bustling sports bar, or maybe a gym, even a busy restaurant. You've got, I don't know, 15, maybe 20 TVs up on the walls, each showing something different. The big game's about to start. Then, boom, three different customers want three different channels on three specific screens right now. You look at your staff, the wait staff, guard tenders,
Yeah.
and you look at that drawer, the one overflowing with mismatched remotes. It's pure chaos, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just a total headache trying to change a channel. Well, today we're doing a deep dive into a system designed to uh, basically banish that exact frustration, the WolfPad tablet TV control system. And this one's specifically tailored for Bell Canadian receivers.
Right. And our mission today is really to unpack how this system takes that multi-screen headache and, well, simplifies it. We'll dig into who it's really built for, the clever thinking behind its design, and importantly, its cost, and how it lets pretty much any non-technical staff member manage what used to be a complex AV setup. We're pulling all this straight from WolfPad's own specs, features, and FAQs.
Okay, let's get into it, because if you've ever been in a place with a dozen plus TVs, you know this struggle. It's very real. It's not just finding the remote, it's which one goes where, and what button combo do I need again? The source material we looked at nails this, mentioning the, quote, frustration of changing Bell Canadian channels with their remote controls. Well, I remember being at a bar once, trying to get them to put a soccer match on, and the poor bartender was literally juggling like 5 remotes. This sounds like it tackles exactly that chaos.
It really does. And what's fascinating, I think, is how the designers zeroed in on a very specific, often overlooked need. It isn't just about more control, it's about making control accessible to everyone. The system is explicitly designed, like you said, for Bell Canadian environments, and they list who it's for. Sports bar owners were a technical knowledge, waitresses were a technical knowledge, hostesses were a technical knowledge, bartenders were a technical knowledge, DJs. You get the picture. Basically, anyone not expected to be a tech whiz. This really speaks to that huge group often left struggling with overly complex and frankly expensive tech.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like a morale booster. The company even suggests the morale of the employees should improve as it is so easy to operate.
Hmm.
Imagine not having to call the owner at home 9 p.m. on a Saturday asking how to switch the matrix. That's huge. But okay, easy to operate is great. Let's push on that a bit. Are there any situations where even this super intuitive system might still be maybe a little tricky for someone completely non-technical, especially during, say, a really busy game night rush?
That's a fair question. I mean, the whole focus of WolfPad is reducing that mental load, right? But sure, any new system, however simple, has some learning curve, even if it's tiny. But the graphical interface is just so direct. It literally shows you pictures of your sources and TVs. The learning is almost immediate. They clearly put a ton of effort into making it unambiguous, even for someone who feels totally lost with normal AV gear. The main goal was clearly to remove that tech guru requirement altogether. It's about a few simple taps, not memorizing button sequences.
Okay, so we've got the problem, the chaos, and who it's for.
Hmm.
But every problem needs a neat solution. How does WolfPad actually do it? How does it turn that remote nightmare into, well, a single-touch dream? What's the tech behind it?
Well, at its core, it's this smooth integration of an app, a custom visual interface, and specific hardware. The system's built to, quote, easily control and route Bell Canadian HDMI signals to any TV that you have. The absolute key, like you said, is that single tablet interface. Forget the remote pile. Forget trying to remember buttons on a physical matrix switch, which, for anyone listening who maybe doesn't know, is like a central hub that directs video signals from multiple sources, like your bell boxes, to any of your TVs. Instead of dealing with that, you do everything on one tablet, visually, touchscreen based.
Right, so you don't have to trek back to the equipment closet where the Bell receivers are physically sitting just to change a channel. You can do it right there on the tablet from anywhere in the building with Wi-Fi. That's a game changer for staff out on the floor.
Exactly. It works by simulating the original remotes using IR infrared, the same signal your home TV remote uses. So it talks directly to your existing bell boxes, just like their own remotes would, but without you needing the actual remote. And it handles scale pretty well, up to 16 inputs and 36 TVs. That covers a lot of venues, from small pubs to bigger sports bars. And yeah, it's important to stress again, this specific WolfPad product is only for Bell Canadian receivers. But the main company, HDTV Supply, they do have similar WolfPad systems for DirecTV, DiSH, Apple TVs, that kind of thing.
And the flexibility on the tablet itself is great, too. You mentioned any tablet, iPad, Fire, Samsung, other Androids. The pictures they show are just examples, not requirements. That's a big plus. Businesses aren't locked into buying a specific device. Maybe they can use tablets they already have. Saves cost up front.
Smart. Definitely smart. So let's talk about how easy it is. The setup and the user experience. The system boasts, and this is key, no programming knowledge is required to set up your system as our interface is intuitive and simple. That's a huge difference from, other control systems that require extensive installer knowledge and configuration. The whole idea is ditching the technical barrier for setting it up and using it daily. True plug-and-play simplicity is the aim.
So paint the picture for us.
Yeah.
Back at that busy sports bar, game night.
Yeah.
How does someone actually use it? The documentation describes it as, well, remarkably simple. First, you pick the bell source you want to control on the tablet screen. That source button turns gray, its name pops up top, clear confirmation.
Right. Then, over on the right side of the screen, you see all your TV buttons. And they instantly show which TVs are currently getting that source. You just touch the TV button you want to send the source to, boom, done. It's almost like drag and drop, but just a tap. And they built in a nice little undo function. Hit the wrong TV by mistake, just tap it again, and it flips back to whatever it was showing before. Prevents those oops moments. And then, crucially, the buttons on the left side of the screen act exactly like your original bell remote. Change channels, volume, menus, all right there. No physical remote needed.
Okay, that sounds incredibly smooth. Brilliant, really, but
Yeah.
convenience like that, especially in custom AV, often comes with a hefty price tag. How does WolfPad stack up cost-wise? And what do you actually get in the box? You hinted other systems get really expensive.
Yeah, that's the $1,000,000 question, or maybe the $1,250 question in this case. That's the listed today's price. And a huge part of their pitch is exactly that. A dramatic lowering of cost compared to competing systems that cost as high as $10,000. And here's where it gets interesting and maybe a bit clever.
Yeah.
They achieved this by supplying a modified pre-owned Crestron or rack mount controller with an AC adapter.
Hold on, pre-owned Crestron. That might make some people pause. What's the story there? Is that cutting corners on quality?
Not really, and this is actually quite smart when you dig into it. It's not just about being cheap. It's like upcycling industrial-grade tech. Crestron is a big name in commercial AV, known for being robust, and they state, legacy Crestron products are American-built and are made to last. So by using these proven Crestron components, like the CP2E controller, which is the solid rack mount unit that does the brain work, WolfPad gives you that near military-grade reliability, but way cheaper. They even back it with a 5-year warranty on that control hardware. They do mention the pre-owned parts may have minor cosmetic defects that in no way affects the operation, but the focus is clearly function and durability over shiny new looks. It's a really interesting way to leverage solid legacy tech.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Turning a potential negative into a positive for reliability and cost. Clever. So what else is physically included in this WolfPad Bell Canadian Box Tablet TV control system contents?
All right, so you get the proprietary control code that lets it talk to a WolfPack HDMI matrix switch, remember, that central video router, which, importantly, is not included in this package. You might already have one or need to buy it separately. You also get a 6-foot RS-232 cable that's just a standard connection cable for the controller to talk to the matrix switch. The WolfPad Lite tablet app functionality is there, but you do have to actually buy the app itself for $90-$95 from the iOS or Android store. You get up to 16 of those IR emitter cables, the little things that stick onto your bell boxes to send the remote signals, and access to their cloud tool to customize your setup visually. But yeah, just to be clear, the source devices, like your bell receivers, the matrix switch itself, and the tablet, those are not supplied. Oh, and the control hardware, the Crestron box needs 3 US space and a standard AV rack that's about 5¼ inches high.
And huge for budgeting, absolutely no hidden fees. The docs are clear, no monthly or yearly fees, no license or subscription fees. That's massive. Plus, free shipping and free 60-day returns with a return label and no restocking fee. That feels like a very low-risk purchase for a business.
Absolutely. Those policies show real confidence and customer focus, but there are a couple of practical things to keep in mind. While they say any number of iPads can be put on the system, it is fundamentally a single-user system at any given moment. So if one bartender is changing channels on one iPad, another staff member trying to do something else on a different iPad could potentially interfere. You can see what the other user's doing, which helps avoid stepping on toes, but it requires a bit of staff coordination. Also, network-wise, it's easy. No dedicated Wi-Fi needed. They say the guest WI-Fi system is fine, or any II-Fi you already have available. Saves hassle and infrastructure cost. And for programming, small setups store the config right on the Crestron box, but bigger multi-page systems might need them to load it remotely via their customizer tool.
Right, and for that setup, you need to give them your input label numbers and IR component model numbers, basically. Tell them what your sources are called and what model your bell boxes are. And one key logistical point, specifically for iPad setup. You either need to send them in to their rep to get the app configured initially, or you can buy the controller directly from their site and handle the setup remotely. That's an important detail for planning.
Definitely. So zooming out, connecting this to the bigger picture, the WolfPad Bell Canadian system is really ideal for that whole range of places. Sports bars, restaurants, bowling alleys, casinos, country clubs, gyms, sports arenas, sports training facilities, and so on. Anywhere with multiple TVs hooked up to Bell receivers needing easy, dynamic control. It really feels like part of a larger trend, doesn't it? Moving away from those super complex, expensive AV installs needing specialists towards app-driven stuff.
It really does. It feels like it's about democratizing AV control, putting serious power into the hands of regular users, people without technical backgrounds. It turns what could be a really stressful technical job into just a few taps on a screen.
Yeah.
How do you see this impacting the broader commercial AV world?
Well, I think it strongly encourages a shift towards user-centric design in commercial AV. Instead of just building tech for AV pros, companies like HDTV Supply are looking at the end user, the bartender, the gym manager, and their actual daily pain points. This whole approach could nudge the industry towards more intuitive, cost-effective solutions that really prioritize the user experience and operational ease, not just stacking up technical features. It lets smaller businesses or ones with tighter budgets get sophisticated control that maybe was out of reach before.
That makes total sense. And these guys aren't new to the game. HDTV Supply, Inc., 24 years in business, certified since 2003. Wolfpack and Wolfpatch are their trademarks. They're even an hdbase.org. Approved Adopter HDBase system is that standard for sending high-def video over long network cables, so that adds credibility. That kind of experience backs up the reliability talk.
Precisely. And it's not just a one-trick pony with Bell Canadian. As we mentioned, they offer similar WolfPad systems for Apple TVs, DSH, DirecTV, general cable boxes. It shows a broader strategy, right?
Yeah.
A well-thought-out ecosystem designed to tackle similar frustrations across different platforms. It's clearly a strategic approach to making complex AV simple in lots of contexts.
So there you have it, the WolfPad Bell Canadian Tablet TV Control System. It really looks like a streamlined, pretty cost-effective, and definitely user-friendly way to manage those multi-TV setups running on Bell receivers. It solves a very specific, very common problem with a smart mix of hardware, simple software, and it seems a real understanding of what users actually need day to day. Proving advanced control doesn't have to be complicated.
Exactly. It boils down a complex technical challenge into something accessible on a tablet. Just an elegant answer to a frequent frustration for tons of businesses and their staff, making jobs easier and operations smoother.
Yeah. In a world that feels increasingly complex, it's a good reminder, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sometimes the best innovations aren't brand new tech, but clever ways of combining solid existing tools with really intuitive design.
Yeah.
Taking something overwhelming and making it feel simple. Makes you wonder, how many other everyday frustrations could be solved with that kind of focused, intuitive approach, leveraging tech we already have to create those aha moments for everyone, no matter their tech skill? Something to think about until our next deep